Hello and welcome to One-on-One Sports. I'm Andrew Springs.
And I'm Mike Feldman. We've got a spooktacular Halloween version of One-on-One on tap tonight. Springs and I will go trick-or-treating with some issues in the sports world where we will discuss topics including steroids for injury recovery.
Next, Tom Waterman and Rich Ryan will join me in studio as we reveal horrifying scenarios for college football.
Then I'll be joined by Eric Kendall and Adam Constantine to preview the NBA season before Josh Norris helps wrap the show with some NFL talk.
Keep it here because One-on-One will be back in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to One-on-One. Springs, it's Halloween season and we at One-on-One are not too old to trick or treat. So let's get this segment started by asking this. Is it a trick or a treat for a pro athlete to publicly support a team outside of their own city?
It is a complete trick. Example being LeBron James last year in Cleveland, going to the Indians playoff game wearing a New York Yankees hat. That's fine if LeBron doesn't want to go to the game, wants to stay in his house and watch it on television. When you're in the public eye, you get paid to support your team and your city. Disagree with me all you want, but when you're at that city, it's like a Ravens player wearing a Yankees cap to an Oriole game. You just don't do it. Not only is it a faux pas socially, it's just disrespectful to the team, the city that's paying you to play for their team. I think you should support your team for the city you're playing in, regardless if you don't like them or not. I don't care if you're a Vikings player who's from Green Bay. Regardless, you get paid to play in the city, you support the city's teams, whoever they may be.
See, I think this is a treat. And LeBron James is signing a contract to be a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers in the National Basketball Association. He doesn't have an MLB contract, he's not playing on skates in the NHL, and he's not putting on a helmet in football. You know, he can do whatever he wants. LeBron James was also in a TV commercial where he's featured for the Cleveland Browns, but same city. But, as far as that goes, LeBron's not a football player. He's not a hockey player. He's not a baseball player. He can don whatever cap he wants to. It is his personal choice. It's LeBron's world. We're just living in it.
That may be, but at the same time, don't you worry about your image a little bit in the sense that, hey, I don't want to wear a Yankees cap if I'm playing for the Patriots, to a Red Sox team. That's just something you don't do. You think about it and you say, okay, common sense would tell me A, not B. I completely disagree with it, but at the same time, it is LeBron's world and we are all living in it. Speaking of struggling cities like Cleveland, struggling teams or players often receive support from the rest of their organization. But Feldman, what do you say about these public votes of confidence? Trick or treat?
I think this is an absolute trick. Just because a player is struggling doesn't mean the coach has to go out in front of the whole media and be like, I support this player 100%. If he supports him, let him know in practice, keep giving him first team reps. I think I'm a big proponent of actions speak louder than words, and if you're backing a player, then go put him out in practice and put him out there week after week. You don't need to go apologize to the media, make your team seem weak. You should go out there confident that you're going to win, confident in your quarterback, and, put your money where your mouth is.
I like what you said, but I'm a think before you act type guy, so I'm going to go with treat. Putting a statement out there lets you know that, hey, we're behind him, our owners are behind him, our GM is behind him, our coach, our manager is behind him, whoever it may be, whether it be the Redskins behind Jason Campbell or the Redskins behind Jim Zorn. They want to get behind one guy so that the fan base can support that guy. They don't want to have turmoil mid-season. What team has ever done well with turmoil mid-season?
Well, see, one thing that all of these have in common is that I think it creates turmoil, as you would say. People are only addressing the media when there's something to be issued about. If your team continues on, like there's nothing wrong. Like if the Redskins, didn't address Jason Campbell to the media and they just continued on being confident, not talking about it, people wouldn't think it's an issue. Because they're bringing it up, because it keeps getting in the newspaper, it makes the people wonder, like, why is the coach supporting Jason Campbell?
That's a good point, but at the same time, if you don't support Jason Campbell, isn't that going to affect his play? Oh, am I going to be here next year? Is it a contract year? Are they going to trade me by, the trade deadline mid-season? Like, if you don't have support around you, how can you perform well? Because you don't know if you're going to be there tomorrow, or the day after Sunday.
See, I think you can still get support, but not just through the media. However, speaking of public criticism, Mavericks owner Mark Cuban is facing criticism for his recent comments saying he has no problem with athletes taking steroids to recover from injury. Springs, doctor approves steroids to speed up recovery, trick or treat?
Treat. It's the world we live in, you know, and I hate to say it. I really do, because players like, you know, the Willie Mays will be forgotten about, and Pete Rose, and everyone who didn't take steroids, you know, regardless of what their flaws were in the past, steroids were never a factor until the 90s and, you know, today. It's just, it's the world we live in. You know, times they are changing, as Bob Dylan once said. But at the same time, he did. But at the same time, you know, we got to accept it. This is the world we live in, and the sooner we start accepting it, the sooner we can all move on. You know, if we keep fighting this, nothing's going to happen. People are going to still use steroids to recover. People are still going to use steroids in baseball for the next gazillion years. Whether we like it or not, they're going to find a loophole. They're going to find a way to cheat. There's nothing we can do about it except accept the world we live in.
You know what? I'm getting to the point where I am sick of the steroids talk. I think we let them all take it. Lance Armstrong wins the Daytona 500 on his bike, and, you know, we can have NFL players tackle Godzilla. You know, it's what's happening. I think players are actually taking steroids to recover from injury. Rodney Harrison got suspended, recovering from an injury, you know, potential Hall of Fame player, first 30-30 player. Terry Bradshaw backed him up when he got suspended and said that he took steroids to recover from injury. You know, I think the steroids is a real hot-button issue, but I think eventually it's just, you know, it's the world we're living in, and if they're not taking steroids, they're going to find a way to hide it or take something else that'll do the same trick.
You know, and we don't like it. You know, let's be honest, we don't like it. We wish sports were good, honest professions where everybody played by the same rules and there was fairness and justice for all. But at the same time, it's not going to happen.